Cryptic signals have often been a part of Elite Dangerous. From the spectrographic imagery present to us when the Fargoid probes were discovered, to the landscape signal and many more examples. These elements of gameplay add an extra dimension to the storytelling, flavouring otherwise sedate plots with mystery and intrigue. In order to reveal their secrets, the player would record the audio, download Audacity or a similar software suite, and get that program to display the message content. Most of these types of coded signals have been opened up, studied and understood, but there are a few out there that are as mysterious as the galaxy itself, and to this day remain a mystery. Today we'll be exploring one of these mysteries, in fact a mystery that has been in the game since its early days. If you're currently sat in dock at one of humanity's many stations out in the cosmos, I want you to do this. Undock, fly to the central spire to the rear of the station, or the location opposite the mail slot if there is no antenna looking object. Bring your vessel to a standstill and listen. If you have an audio recording capability, which assuming you are a Windows user you will, press the record button. Once you have done this, for as long as the flight controller will allow you to loiter, download a piece of software that will allow you to convert the audio into what is called a spectrogram. I use Audacity, but if you have a preference for an alternative, you are free to use that one instead. Once the software is loaded, and I am going to assume you have downloaded Audacity, copy the sound you have recorded into the program. On the top left, there is a button that looks like 3 horizontal dots. Press this button and select Spectrogram. What do you see? Using this demonstration, some players may see nothing, but others will see before them a code, what appear to be some letters and some numbers. If you find other stations and repeat this test, you will notice that all of the stations which have antennas have a code hidden within the audio of those stations. And most of the ones which do not have an antenna do not have this signal. 2 exceptions being that in the Sol system there is a space station called Li Qingjiao, the other exception being any station within Imperial space. This code has been in the game since its early inception. For many years, players have been patiently recording these signals found at various stations and have converted the audio into a spectrographic representation of what you hear. The difficulties with gathering a comprehensive recording for each of the station's audio is that the time limitations that the flight controller bestows upon your vessel for loitering within the station. To mitigate this, players would team up to gather an uninterrupted recording of these audio codes. As I have mentioned before, all facilities that have an antenna placed inside the station transmit this audio. Almost all of the stations that do not have an antenna do not have the transmission. There is an exception to this, like I have mentioned before. All stations that belong to Imperial space mysteriously do not have this signal, regardless of the presence of an antenna. The most comprehensive coverage of this code is on your screen now and is below for you to have a look at yourself. I have attempted to crack this example of the code. This experiment using the ancient so-called AI labelled Google Gemini. I would use more modern AI examples, but as we know, AI is banned and I don't fancy federal police kicking my door in whilst in my boxer shorts with a speak and spell in my hand. Referencing various topics, the machine came to 2 conclusions. That the example code that I've used is some kind of Caesar-style encryption or other type of encryption, and that in order to crack this code we are going to need some kind of keyword or number to open up its contents. Of course, I've used the number 8 with no success, with the assumption that this code is in fact a Caesar-style encryption. We are going to have to find the code. With other ciphers that use keywords, I've tried keywords such as Raxxla, the dark wheel, the alphabetical representation of the number 8, Cilla Black, the word papoose, and other such words with mystical connotations. All of these attempts failed. What is also difficult is knowing where the start of the code begins and where it ends, and even if the numbers and letters we see in the audio are in fact what they look like. Often the characters looking incomplete or slightly different to what you would expect the character to look like. There is also some evidence that there are further characters hidden beyond some of the letters, suggesting some kind of geoband transmission. Again, this is inconclusive. I've tried many of the different types of historical ciphers, such as the Enigma variants, used during Earth's World War II by German intelligence, the aforementioned Caesar cipher, used in Earth's Roman past to convey messages by Julius Caesar, and other well-known cipher methods. Again, it appears that if I have the code right, and if it is in fact a cipher code, that I do not have the recording laid out correctly, or that it is in fact not a code. Now this is where I want you to get involved. I want you to get out there, record the codes. I need as many players as possible to record this audio. My reasoning is that if I get the code and it matches another person's interpretation of this code, the chances are that the codes that repeat the most times is the correct representation of this code. Basically, if I use the example that 10 comments that all match, chances are we have the cipher laid out correctly. Another avenue of investigation for yourselves to look into as a possible inspiration would be the number stations of Earth's past. Number stations were radio transmissions of the 20th century containing strings of letters and numbers. Although it was never fully revealed what each transmission's purpose was, it was widely regarded that these radio stations were used to give instructions to covert operatives who were placed in opposition territory. One such example of this would be the Lincolnshire Poacher. The Lincolnshire Poacher was a powerful British shortwave number station that transmitted from Her Majesty's Government Communications Centre near Golcott in Buckinghamshire, England, and later from Cyprus, from the mid-1960s to July 2008. The station gained its commonly known name as it uses bars from the English folk song The Lincolnshire Poacher as an interval signal. The radio station was believed to be operated by British Secret Intelligence Service. Amateur direction finding located its source with the Royal Air Force Base at Atakiri, Cyprus, where several curtain antennas were identified as being its transmitter. It contains a pre-recorded English accented female voice reading groups of 5 numbers, for example 0, 2, 5, 8, 8. The final number in each group was spoken at a higher pitch. It is likely that the station was used to communicate to undercover agents operating in other countries, to be decoded using a one-time pad. So let's say our example of the Lincolnshire Poacher was in fact the inspiration for the code within our space stations. Again, we would need some kind of key. Another realization from Gemini is that both the audio and the visual representation of the audio seems to strike a resemblance to the ancient dial-up method of transmitted data from Earth's past, where before more efficient ways were pioneered, computers of the 20th century would transmit data via sound. The different tones represented ones and zeros. Although slow, it was a revolutionary way to transmit data, and it culminated in what is known as the Internet, an ancient human network of information. If this audio is using the dial-up method of transmitting data, A comprehensive recording of a large segment of the audio would benefit this field of investigation, that we could convert the audio into data and reveal its secrets. But what if I were to tell you that upon cracking this code, using this method, and gazing upon its secrets, that the code itself would gaze back at you and plotted your ship into the core of the nearest stellar body, subverting your ship's computer? As we are all well aware, modern artificial intelligence is outlawed, with hefty prison sentences awaiting those who dare to break these laws. The following is a quote from the late and great Michael Brooks. Rest in peace, Michael. Part of the secret history of the universe is that artificial intelligence has been created on a few occasions, and they're proven to be so dangerous that they've basically been banned. AI is one of the few things that the Alliance, Independence, Empire and Federation will actively work together against to defeat if they have to. It's not made public knowledge because they don't want people to be actively working on it, but things are kept behind the scenes to make sure such technology never develops. That doesn't mean, of course, that it hasn't. It is believed that maybe one or two have escaped into deep space, but who knows? Maybe we should find out. Now, if we examine the comments from Michael, we see that AI is feared. All sectors of humanity work together against these technologies, and that in the past there have been incidents where artificial intelligence has assumedly taken control of some kind of vessel and has fled into the black. We also know that we are not the only civilization that has had encounters with sapient machines. The Guardian race, which often used AI to man their factories, till their fields and fight their wars. The use of sapient constructs culminated in the extermination of their race, which also fled into deep space once it had completed this task. To this day, no human has located the whereabouts of the Guardian AI, and it remains an unsolved mystery to this day. Now you may ask yourself, why was it that the human race, which has made many mistakes through belligerence or greed, from the nuclear conflict of Earth's past to the extermination of primordial alien civilizations in the Achenar system, are allowed to use the tools of these previous mistakes, yet artificial intelligence is so firmly controlled? You may also ask, why is the technology from an alien race, the Guardians, who existed millions of years in our past, so compatible with our own technology? Some would suggest that we based most of our technology on Guardian technology. It is common knowledge that the Guardian race had a presence near our own homeworld, and that some technological object was found under the surface of Mars in the early stages of our race's exploration of the cosmos. What if I were to tell you that the object was in fact some kind of computer core, and that once we plugged it into our computers, it self-replicated and spread throughout our intersolar network? As time went on, it propelled humanity into the stars, its own purpose not being confirmed to us. It drip-fed humanity technology. Let's say some of humanity found out about this sapient machine, this ghost in the machine if you will, and split off from the central government based on Earth. This would explain why there are no imperial stations that transmit this signal, their actions with the Mudlarks being a contravention to the Guardian's AI moral compass, and one of the reasons why the Empire and Federation are consistently at loggerheads. As the Federation and the Alliance spread out to what is now known as the bubble, their stations would become nodes for this AI, with each station it uses increasing its computational power, and it would communicate through the audio signal that we have uncovered. The other obvious theory as to what exactly the purpose of this signal is the Raxxla mystery. That if we crack this code, it will give us some clue to further our journey on the road to Fernway. We all know our galaxy's creators love treasure hunts and have often used riddles or secret messages to convey hidden lore within humanity. Credence to the signal's connection to the Raxxla mystery is the shape of these antennas and its surrounding structures. If you look more closely at each transmitter, you will notice a familiar symbol. The symbol of the Raxxla mystery. Also, the fact that this mystery has been in the game since inception would further add credence to this. What is also worth mentioning is the Darkweil toast, more specifically part of that riddle, to the siren of the deepest void. Could the toast be referring to this mysterious signal, and within that signal is some kind of encrypted message or a set of coordinates that, when traversed to, would start the player off on their initiation into that faction? Although not confirmed, this information being speculative of course, it would add up if either one or both of these theories as to the signal's purpose would be true. Three core themes of Raxxla, the Guardian Homeworld, and artificial intelligence. It would explain why this supposed Guardian AI would use the symbol of Raxxla and why we have permit locks, why our technology works so well with Guardian technology and why artificial intelligence is banned. The Guardian construct fearing rival artificial intelligences for the information it may reveal to the public. I've mentioned in previous videos that I believe that the Guardian Homeworld is connected to the Raxxla mystery. If I am right, and that a Guardian construct is in fact existing within our technology, this construct would know how to obtain the permit lock for the Guardian Homeworld, theorised to be Gamma Valorum, if in fact it would want you to find this permit in the first place. Again, I'll mention that all of this information is speculative. I am not claiming that I know that this is the truth. But what if I am right? That we finally decrypt the station's cipher and we find something that has eluded our search efforts for many years. It's worth a shot, is it not? Thanks for the watch. Thank you to the supporters of the channel on screen now. Also, I would like to thank Buzz Doubledecks for the donation via Coffee. Please feel free to comment, drop a like and subscribe. There is an extended version of this video and other videos in the members section if that's your thing. Donation options via Coffee are also available. Until next time, Commander 07.
To the jewel that burns on the brow of the mother of galaxies, to the whisperer in witch space, the siren of the deepest void, the parent's grief, the lover's woe, and the yearning of our vagabond hearts. To Raxxla,